Let's go ahead and find the derivative of this function. To do so, what I'm going to suggest we do first is go ahead and rewrite this so we can really just use the power rule over and over again if at all possible. So that first term is fine how it is. I'm going to leave it just as it is. But that next term, I'm going to go ahead and rewrite that square root as t to the 1 over 2 power. Now where we get that is the index on our radical. There's a little 2 that hides out there. We don't usually write that 2, but it goes as our denominator in that rational exponent. Now, t is technically raised to the first power on the inside here, so that's where that 1 comes from up in the rational exponent as well. All right. Lastly, we have that t down in the denominator raised to the first power. What we can do is we can move that up to the numerator by making that a negative exponent, so t to the negative first here at the end. So that t to the first moved from denominator up to numerator, and we used a negative exponent to do so. Now let's go ahead and find our derivative, so dy dt. To do so, like I mentioned, we're just going to use the power rule kind of a couple times. The first time, we're going to bring that 6 from the exponent down and multiply it by the 6 in front. So 6 multiplied by 6 makes 36. Then we reduce it by 1, so we're doing 6 minus 1 makes 5 for our new exponent. Minus, moving on to that next term, again, power rule says the 1/2 comes down, gets multiplied by the 9, so that's going to be 9 multiplied by 1/2. Works out to be 9 over 2. And then our variable t comes along, but now we have to do a 1/2 minus 1, which is the same thing as 1/2 minus 2 over 2, which is going to give us negative 1 over 2 for our new exponent. And then last term, we're going to bring the negative 1 down and multiply it by the 7. So that's where a minus 7 comes out in front. Bring our variable along, and now we have to reduce it by 1. So we have to do a negative 1 minus 1 makes negative 2 for our new exponent. Now, if you're allowed to leave negative exponents and fractional exponents, then you're done. But if you're not, we could rewrite this, kind of strategically going through this. Let's bring along our 36 t to the 5th power, not doing anything with that. But that next term, we have a negative exponent. We can eliminate the negative exponent, which is only attached to the t, by moving it down to the denominator and making this t to the positive 1 over 2 power for its new exponent. So it went from negative exponent to positive by switching from numerator to denominator. Very similarly, for that last term, the 7 has a positive exponent, so we'll leave it up in the numerator, but we can move our t down to the denominator by switching the sign. The very last thing that you may want to do is, instead of having a fractional exponent, what you can do is, very similar to what we did in that first part, we can rewrite that with a radical. So you can finish this up and say that's the square root of t down in that denominator, if you wanted to. All right, all of these are kind of equivalent solutions. So whichever version your professor wants, go with that version. Hope this helps out as you're working on finding derivatives. Most of this is just getting comfortable with our exponent rules, like rewriting square roots as fractional exponents, or moving from a positive exponent in the numerator up to a negative exponent in the numerator. I think I switched that around. You get what I'm saying. All right, good luck. Keep practicing, you'll get it.